Kia ora, good evening. The in-water search for missing boy Mike Zhao Beckenridge and stepfather John Beckenridge has been suspended until sea conditions improve. The assessment was made this morning by the Police National Dive Team that conditions had deteriorated to a point where it was unsafe to enter the water. A number of washed-up car parts, including a bumper, have been located near Curio Bay, and police have confirmed the parts belong to the vehicle being looked for. Mike's backpack was also located in the wider area of interest by police. Police told other media this afternoon they're pretty confident the vehicle was in the water. The death of a Stewart Island hunter 2 days ago has prompted organisations to remind hunters of the basic rules of firearm safety. Invercargill man Samuel Philip Long was fatally shot by a member of his hunting party on Stewart Island. The loss of Samuel was said to be a tragic reminder for hunters to make sure firearm safety an absolute priority. Hunters are being urged to understand and comply with the Firearms Safety Code as the upcoming annual deer roar approaches. 7 basic rules of firearm safety include treating every firearm as loaded, always pointing firearms in a safe direction, load a firearm only when ready to fire, identify targets beyond all doubt, checking firing zones, correctly storing firearms and ammunition, and avoiding alcohol and drugs when handling firearms. The Department of Conservation is just one of many organisations pushing safety prior to the biggest hunting time of the year.
Basically during the roar, the male deer or the stags get vocal. They're trying to attract their female mates, and so the hunters can hear the males, and it's a good time to hunt them. The responsibility is on the shooters. They need to identify their target, follow the 7 basic rules of the arms code, the most important thing is you're responsible for yours and other people's safety.
This year's roar coincides with Easter, meaning conservation land will be busier, posing more of a risk.
Easter holiday, roar, both big events attracting a lot of people into the bush. So during the Easter period there's going to be a lot of other users in conservation area or public land. So hunters need to be extra cautious, ensuring they identify their target and follow the 7 basic rules of the arms code. Personally, you can wear high-vis. High-vis is good, give out your intentions to family members, etc. But when you're shooting, just follow the 7 basic rules. Most importantly, identify your target. Don't just shoot at movement. Don't just shoot at colour. Identify your target's the key. You're responsible for other people's safety. A deer's a deer. One small accident, 1 3-second judgment can change your life and families' lives and communities' lives. So it's just a deer.
Information about hunting permits and firearm safety can be found at your local DOC office. Sharon Rees, South Today News. Fonterra has posted a 16% drop in first half profit and affirmed its milk payout forecast and lowered guidance for dividends. The forecast payout for the current season was affirmed at $4.70 per kilogram of milk solids, down from a record $8.40 last season, while guidance for dividends was trimmed to a range of 20 to 30 cents from a previous 25 to 35 cents. The world's biggest dairy exporter's net profit fell 16% to $183 million in the first half, with sales down 14% to $9.7 billion. The revised dividend guidance means the total cash payout for 2014 to 15 would be $4.90 to $5. Total goods exports took a hit in February with a fall led by dairy exports. A report released by Statistics New Zealand shows total goods exports fell 13% last month to $3.9 billion compared with the same time last year. Milk powder, butter and cheese exports led the fall, down 41% from the same time last year due to lower prices and a 10% fall in quantities exported. Annual values are now 16% lower than for the year ended August 2014 and are at similar levels to late 2013. Imports rose 3.7% in February to $3.9 billion, with consumption goods leading the rise, up 14%. Stay with us. Still to come on the bulletin, we catch up with stylist Adrian Barclay about his latest judging gig, plus a local cartoon icon celebrates a century. Welcome back. There was a lift in consumer confidence in March according to the latest Westpac Consumer Confidence Index. Petrol prices and fixed mortgage rates have continued to fall since previous survey, while share prices and house prices have continued to rise. Rising consumer confidence is also in keeping with the very strong electronic card spending data over January and February. Falling dairy prices caused rural sentiment to tumble in the December survey, but consumer sentiment in rural regions and smaller centres has rebounded and is now actually higher than it was 6 months ago. Meanwhile, urban sentiment moved marginally lower over the quarter and is more or less where it was half a year ago. Registered new births has been made easier with the launch of online registration through births, deaths and marriages. New Zealand parents are now able to register the birth of children, apply for an IRD number and order birth certificates online. By law, both parents of a child born in New Zealand must jointly notify births, deaths and marriages as soon as possible after the birth. The Registrar-General deems registration should generally be within 2 months of the birth. Birth registration is free. An Invercargill hairdresser is set to join some of the world's most elite stylists at the judging table later this year. Adrian Barclay of Venom Hair Salon has been appointed to the judging panel of the Hair Expo Hairdresser of the Year Awards in June.
The Hair Expo itself has been run for the last 25 years. It's become one of the biggest hairdressing awards and expos in the world. For me, it really is taking a dream to another level, and being able to have a voice within the industry has been really exciting. I think we all want to be appreciated for our passion and what we're doing, and being able to, just to share knowledge and learn, and to be able to, obviously to be a judge for this event it's a huge honour, and to be alongside the other judges, learning from them, the exposure is massive for me. So I guess it's another stepping stone into. It's all the unknown, but so far, when I did win the award in 2009, I said that it would open a lot of doors for me, and it really has. It allowed me to share on stage and international events. I actually did a show at the Hair Expo last year myself, which was one of the first for a New Zealander. I've been doing shows in Asia. I'm about to go to Vietnam and do hairdressing shows over there, and the sky's the limit, man. From Invercargill, I'm really proud of that, because this is my home, this is where my company is, this is my base, and to be able to go off and launch myself in these directions and get creative fulfillment, but also share and influence our industry on a global scale. What more can you want, For me, I think being a judge is also getting to know those other judges and meeting those other judges. They have been really the stars of the industry in my eyes, and people I've really looked up to and respected. So it's kind of nice to be kind of welcomed into the club, and to have a bit of a hang and to feed off them. I'm a very observant person. I pick up a lot of energy from successful people. I admire successful people. I'm looking forward to getting to know them. I'm sure they're going to get to know me, and. It's just sharing and giving and learning and feeding and growing and just having one hell of a ride with it all. Really, that's what it's about for me. So.
Skilled job vacancies nationwide were up last month, with hospitality and tourism leading the rise. The number of skilled job vacancies advertised online were up 5.8% for February on the same time last year, and up 0.4% for the month. The Ministry of Business Innovation and Employment's job report shows the increase in vacancies was driven by the hospitality and tourism industry, up 1.8%. The report said skilled job vacancies increased in 8 out of 10 regions, with Otago Southland up 12% on February 2014 and 1.1% on January 2015. Sergeant Dan is turning 100 years old this month, and to celebrate the milestone, an exhibition's being held in his honour. Sergeant Dan became famous throughout the country and beyond, extolling the virtues of porridge and locally produced oats for Fleming and Company. The bugle boy of Company F appeared in newspaper ads from 1915, often accompanied by signature chirpy poems, and from then on the boy soldier with a big appetite for porridge became the firm's mascot. The exhibition at the Croydon Aircraft Museum in Mandeville explores the development of an advertising icon that created one of New Zealand's longest running branding stories. Now let's take a look at today's weather.
Nominations are open for the 2015 Southland Environment Awards. This year marks the 20th year of the awards, and Environment Southland wants to hear about anyone who's making a difference in our region: individuals, schools, farmers, community groups and businesses. If that's you or someone you know, get an entry form and let's recognise and celebrate these environmental achievers. Entries close May 1st. Contact Environment Southland for details today.
And here's your weather for Wednesday the 25th of March. Auckland saw a high of 23 today and 19 for the capital. 22 for Christchurch today and a little closer to home, 17 for both Gore and Dunedin. 15 for Invercargill and a high of 14 for Stewart Island. And tomorrow is looking a little cloudy in the south. 16 for Riverton tomorrow. Winton will see a high of 17 and 18 for Wyndham. A high of 16 for Tuatapere and Invercargill tomorrow and 17 for Gore. 19 for Te Anau tomorrow and 20 for Queenstown, 16 for Nightcaps. Into the marine forecast for FOVO. Variable 10 knots, turning to southerly 15 knots, southwest swells of 3 metres with fair visibility and rain. Into Pusaga, variable 10 knots to 15 knots, rough sea in the north with southwest swell of 3 metres and poor visibility and rain. Into the long range forecast, Friday will see some morning rain with northerlies developing. Saturday looks like rain with a southeast change, and Sunday rain easing to showers with southerlies. And that's it from the news desk this Wednesday. Sports along next, but from the news team, good night.